Hello and welcome to week 9 of our League Pick'em series. My name is Chris, and the new lord and master of our series for the moment, my friend Jason.
All right, Chrissy, it is good to be ahead in our pick'em, but I've got to make this quick. I'm going to be headed out to Ohio soon. I just accepted a $1 million offer to become the Cincinnati Bengals' only linebacker.
Boy, are they in trouble. They don't know what They clearly haven't looked at your chart for
Well,
that.
they said it was probably a side grade, but they're definitely saving some money.
A linebacker, get out of here. You best
Only linebacker on the team.
be lucky to get a guard out of you. Shit. Linebacker actually got a drop in a pass protection. You got nothing, man.
I have no body to tackle people with.
All right. Let's see. Last week I went a measly 7-6, and Jason went 9-4. We went 3-1 in our contested picks, and old Chrissy is now down by 1 instead of up by 1 with a record of 71-50, and Jason is now 72-49. We'll see how long his despotic reign lasts.
You're really looking back to week 1 through 3 when you actually got games over me, and you're just like, man, those were the good old days.
It's a slump, but I'm confident.
All right, we'll see if you can pick it up, but let's just say, you got a crush nader to take on.
Oh, and then lastly, the Browns, Jets, Eagles, and Bucks are on by this week.
Yeah,
All right.
and before we get into a recap of last week's games, let's do the NFL.com site watch, quickly becoming a regular segment. NFL.com now no longer giving you the preview of each week's games as they're coming up on this schedule. Now they have stuck on this stupid button so you can buy overpriced Marriott rooms that are 20 or 30 minutes away from the stadium that you want to go to for a game. That's what they replaced it with.
All right. I'll make sure to edit that out.
All right, let's get into last week's games.
First up, we've got Thursday Night Football. We got the Chargers soundly crushing the Vikings. And I think this is the game Carson Wentz went down in. And he's out for the season.
Honestly, with the way he's played, no huge loss. I mean, I feel bad for him, but this is kind of the end of his career. I think probably time for him to retire. He's slowly slipping out of relevance. On the other hand, your boy Justin Herbert, who always I don't have a lot of faith in him. I don't believe in him. Man, he is playing good football. Him and Lad McConkey just have such a good synergy.
Yep. And then definitely the story of the week. As a Dolphins fan, can you explain the necromancer magic that was at play to animate this team this week?
Yeah. They basically, instead of just trying to bring the team back from the dead as zombies, they figured, let's not go for necromancy, let's go for chronomancy.
Okay.
And what they did was they rewound the team back 2 years to 2023 when they used a lot of motion plays, when Jalen Waddle was feeling good about himself. When they were able to set up little holes for HN to break through every time, because all he needs is the smallest hole, and his vision and his quick cuts basically can let him cut through any little hole in the most efficient possible way. Yeah, it was just really good play calling. Nothing ever went wrong at any point during the game, really. And that was important because I think that in the last couple weeks, right, the Dolphins have had some mental booms in game where they were doing well. One thing went wrong and they collapsed. They came out fighting with a lot of spirit as usual. Nothing went wrong.
Well, how
And yeah,
shocked
it
were you
really
by this result?
not as shocked as you were, but surprised. I was surprised. I watched the whole game until the fourth quarter when I turned it off, not in disgust, but just really happy with the team and wanting to see the end of Jets and Bengals. and oh boy, did I see the end of that. Um, but yeah, for the 3.5 quarters of football that I watched, they looked great. It really looked so similar to 2023 in both the play calling and the execution. And the fact that they did this without Hill gives me a lot of hope. Who they have to play tomorrow gives me a lot less hope. But yeah, like the Dolphins looked great, and this is their ceiling, right? Being able to just easily score touchdowns on every other drive. They're gonna have some weird 3 and outs, 4 and outs, but they're gonna have a lot of just sleek, agile, really good looking plays. Also, a lot of credit to Tua, who just received so much criticism after his atrocious performance last week, and just absolutely bounced back. He was hitting everything this week. A couple balls flew over people's heads still, but most of them were just perfectly on spot. Yeah. Atlanta did not play well, but I think this really was the story of the Dolphins more than the Falcons, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we're at the point though. He probably just saved his job for like just another week or two.
Uh, yeah. I mean, they've got to win a lot more games. Right? Next time they get blown out, McDaniel could still be gone. I don't know if you were talking about McDaniel or Tua or both, but
Probably both.
it could be. But if this is like the start of them looking better, playing vintage ball and maybe going, you know, what do they have? 9 more games? Yeah, maybe going 5-4 for the rest of the season or something like that. I think it's very possible. They're both there to the end of the season, and maybe they make a change at the end of it. Here's hoping they turn this into a great midseason comeback and go 8-1 or something, but not necessarily expecting that.
That's right. 11-6 and an AFC championship. Okay.
I mean, the Bills aren't looking as good as usual. Just saying.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, but John Robinson, bad game. Really not looking as good as you'd expect.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about my boy Kirk. Clearly, he didn't get enough rep with the first starters, first team
He
starters.
honestly doesn't even deserve talked about after that game.
All right, next up we got the Bears getting walloped against the Ravens. This is the only game I picked right. Now, you originally felt bad for picking the Bears because you thought Lamar was going to play, but they're so bad they lost regardless.
Yeah, Chicago, not a great team. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Baltimore, what I do want to say about them, Huntley as the backup, such smart strategy from the GMs, putting the team together like this, so that if you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson that goes down, obviously he runs a lot. There's going to be some risks in the way that he plays the game. If he goes down, you don't need to change the entire offense around, maybe like a pocket quarterback or something like that. Both of the quarterbacks play with a very similar style. They're not exactly the same guy, but they can run the same offense. They can play with a similar style. And it's almost like, maybe you're taking a slight downgrade to Huntley. I mean, Jackson is incredible. But it's basically like you keep playing your team's game without missing a beat. It's such smart strategy. On the other side of the ball, yeah, Chicago, without their defense playing lights out, it seems like their offense really can't do a lot.
Yep. And next up, we got the Bills completely annihilating the Panthers. Not much to
Yeah.
say about this game. The Panthers' defense did not do anywhere near as it's been doing the whole year.
Yeah, I thought this one might be close. You said you don't think it's going to be close. You were right. Uh, um, yeah, I mean, Carolina is a decent team, that can certainly beat up on bad teams, even surprise good teams sometimes. It definitely didn't happen here. I didn't see the game, and I know that you said that it wasn't on in your market. But yeah, I mean, from everything that I was looking at with the drive summaries, this seems like it was Bills kind of vintage 2020s football.
All right, next up, we've got the Jets getting their
Game of the week.
first win of the season, just ditching all hopes of that first round draft pick, upsetting the Bengals
Basically.
in a 39-38 nail biter in Cincinnati. Uh, Obviously, I didn't watch this game, but you heard about it all over the place just because of how emotional I guess it was for the Jets and Aaron Glenn's first win, and then Justin Fields' first win with the Jets. There's all kinds of feel good stories, I guess.
Yeah, I got to see the very exciting fourth quarter of this. I came into it hoping that the Jets would obviously lose. I always enjoy when teams go 0-16, 0-17.
They just
You
make
know,
the Dolphins look better. That's what you're really saying.
I even enjoyed when the Browns went 0-16. And they threw the entire ironic ticker tape parade. But But yeah, I came into this hoping that the Jets would lose. By the end of it, I was hoping the Jets would win, and that wasn't so much that I wanted the Jets to have this wonderful moment, which I am happy for them, genuinely. It was because I was so fucking insulted by the way that Cincinnati was playing defense. I don't think there was a single play in the fourth quarter that the Cincinnati defense managed to tackle a Jet, a receiver, or a running back on first contact. Not a single play. I could be wrong. There may have been a couple, but I don't think there was a single one. From just watching the game.
Yeah, they're
It was
bad.
like they would just walk up to the guy, push him a little bit, and instead of actually wrap him with the body, or throw their body at him or anything that resembled a tackle. They would literally just push the guy a little bit and then watch as the guy just cut and blazed past them. It was insane. On the final touchdown that Fields threw, the defender absolutely could have knocked the ball down, maybe even intercepted it. And instead, he just watched as the ball went past him. The guy caught it in the end zone, and then instead of really trying to knock him out of bounds before he came down, he kind of gave him a little push after he got his feet down, and he's like, "Oh well, I couldn't do anything." It
Hmm.
was insulting to watch this. These guys do not deserve to play professional football,
Well, it's not
and
as
I
if
feel
this Jets defense was much better.
the Jets defense at least made tackles from what I was watching. They weren't good. Don't get me wrong, they weren't good, but man. Um, yeah, it was the worst display of defense. I'm not exaggerating. I have seen in my entire life over any sustained more than one drive type of.
Nope, I'm sorry. Cowboys Bears earlier this year was the worst ever.
It was the worst I've ever seen. I really feel bad for Flacco because he put together a pretty good game. Um, and he just keeps getting let down by his defense. Fourth quarter, Jets drives, touchdown, 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 and then victory formation. Great on the Jets. Absolute shame to the Bengals defense. Yeah, fire them all. Next.
All right, next up we've got the Niners. I guess this was an upset loss against the Texans at home. Needless to say, McCaffrey did not get 7 yards a carry or 200 yards in this game. This is actually his only bad game of the whole season. He's actually been extremely consistent, at least in terms of
Yeah,
fantasy points.
I jinxed him. 68 total yards and a 3.1 rushing average.
Mm.
Houston's defense played, and they've been very prideful all year. I thought they might have a little bit of a mental boom after how out of their mind they played last week, and still, their offense couldn't give them anything. Their defense played so well in the first half, stopped San Francisco from getting any points or any momentum going until 30 seconds left in the first half, and just played a very good game overall. Houston's offense looked better than it did all year as well. Not great, but good.
All right. Next up, we got the Patriots extending their win streak to like 5 or 6 or something here. 6-2, and they dumpster on the Browns despite a 5-sack game from Myles Garrett. I hear.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
this
was
was
he
pretty
was
cool.
pissed. I think they took him out near the end of the game because it's like we don't have a shot. Let's not waste you in case you get injured. But man, he was pissed. He was throwing his helmet down and everything. Like I don't think he drew flags for it because I think he was on the sideline, but he did not look happy.
I don't
Kind
know
of
how he can
understand.
still be so emotional. He's been with the team long enough at this point. He knows the offense is a joke, like year after year after year. So.
At some point, sometimes you just you try, you
Stop
put
it.
on a smile, you do your best, and then you just break. Right? Do you remember Steven Jackson by any chance? The running back on the Rams, maybe like 10, 12, 14 years ago?
No, I don't remember that guy.
You know? Yeah, this is when the Rams were like really bad. It was mostly their defense that was bad. Their offense was all right. I think it was the Mark Bulger era. And man, he just put the team on his back every game, and they lost and they lost and they lost. And the guy never ever had anything but a smile on his face. Like he
No,
was he was trying his hardest,
just
but I
like
wish I
Barry
had an attitude
Sanders.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, about this, like I don't think either one of us was surprised that New England won, but Cleveland's defense being that good and New England being able to move the ball that well and score that many points against, I think what we both agree is a good defense.
I think it's a top
Um,
5 defense, probably.
yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest stories from the week, and really shows you that New England, um, yeah, is a competitor not to be trifled with. We might see them going deep in the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's unthinkable that they'd miss the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we got the game I did watch in the morning. The Eagles finally getting a very solid win on offense and defense, I guess, over the Giants. Fortunately for the Giants, a lot of people got hurt in this game. That brilliant rookie Scadaboo went out, and he's probably
Oh,
done for the
he's gone for
season,
the season.
I
He's gone.
imagine.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then Dart also got banged up at one point in this game too. And this is like the second or third time he's went into the blue 10 on the season. And
yeah,
he's still good though. He's just I think it was still a good effort by him, and I think he's done really well in the 4 or 5 starts he's had. But definitely a
yeah,
get right game for the Eagles that they desperately needed.
yeah. I kind of agree with you about Dart. I did not get to see any of this game. I looked as the Eagles ran up the score. Um, but yeah, this is absolute catastrophe for the Giants. Losing that much important personnel in a season that already was just kind of like
Mm,
barely hanging on by a thread. Look, good news, New York fans. You can always root for your high-powered Jets offense.
that's to say nothing of the fact they lost Malik Neighbors like earlier in the season.
Yeah, yeah. This was catastrophe. This was Armageddon for the Jets 25. You can hope that they'll be able to turn around things next year. If they can stay healthier, but I don't have a lot of faith in that either, to be perfectly honest. It's just a bad organization recently.
All right, next we've got the Bucks taking a dump on the Saints, but Baker actually played really bad in this game, and this was mostly just a tale of defense and just penalties and running, and very little actual stats from Baker in this game. And I know
Yeah,
because he only made me 13 points this game.
Yeah, Baker wasn't good stat wise. I think he only had like 160 yards on 20 something attempts. But did you watch any of the game? Because I didn't get to see any of this except for maybe a couple plays on Red Zone.
No, this was in the
Um,
same slot as the Cowboys game.
okay, yeah. So I didn't get to see it either. So it's very possible that he played fine and just only needed to be a game manager against the Aints. Maybe the stats don't tell the whole story here. I do enjoy looking through the New Orleans stat sheet at the end of the game, and it reads as NO passing, NO rushing, and yeah, basically no passing, no rushing, no defense. It was one of the stat sections. I think that pretty much describes New Orleans right now.
Yeah, they benched their quarterback in this game, although he
Yeah,
basically is just a backup himself. So
yeah. I had
whatever.
forgotten about this. Do you remember who the Tampa Bay head coach is?
Bowles, Ted
Yeah,
Bowles,
it's
Nick
Todd
Bowles,
Bowles.
Todd Bowles. Okay.
TB, Todd Bowles, yeah. Like he was so bad everywhere else that he's ever been in his career. It's actually amazing they made him a head coach once. Especially amazing they made him a head coach twice. Um,
Well, he's
and
only the head coach of the Bucks because Bruce Arians just decided to retire, and he
yeah,
was like the
but
coordinator or
he,
something.
he had to be the defensive coordinator, right?
I'm sure he was one of the coordinators.
Yeah, he was actually a pretty decent defensive coordinator where he did that stuff. But yeah, to be like in charge of a team that is putting up a high flying offense from Todd Bowles, that's pretty damn cool. All right, now I've given you enough time to emotionally come to grips with what happened next. And
Yeah,
I want
what?
you to I'm going to give you 100% of this time. I want you to just tell me how many migraines this caused for you, how your life was ruined, how you no longer have faith in Earth or God. Um,
Well, I look
yeah.
on this website and I can't help but I see the date over and over because that
hmm
was my birthday. This was my birthday, and
Happy fucking birthday, Chrissy.
I even picked up the Cowboys defense in fantasy just because thought they'd make another leap after last week. They made 30 points last week, but such was not the case. They ended up making me negative 10 points. Not so great when you think about it. Not a lot needs to be said, honestly. I
Oh
mean,
no, you're gonna say a lot about this.
first quarter was like kind of hopeful. They kept it a little close, and then it just kind of. Honestly, Dak didn't even play that bad. He still got them down the field a bunch of times, and Javante got it in the end zone a couple times. They just couldn't keep up with the Broncos because their defense is just so otherworldly terrible. They just can't put together any secondary worth a rat's ass, man. And there's just no pass rush. You talked about how bad the Bengals defense was. Well,
hmm
I swear, there's no way they're worse than the Cowboys secondary. There's
Who
no
was the
way.
worst performer on the Cowboys D this game?
I mean, it's the whole unit, man. It's like we got a couple
Okay.
guys that are like okay pass rushers. Like we got this Ziggy Zua guy. He's not so bad. We got this James Houston guy or whatever that's okay. We
Mhm.
we got like some guys that can put some pressure on. We don't got anything consistent up front. The linebackers are probably a joke because just about any running back in creation can just gash us for like 8 yards a carry basically on first down. And then like the
Mhm.
secondary just like it doesn't matter what kind of coverage they're in, they just can never like keep up with whoever they're covering. It's like I was joking with the Bears game because it was the worst then. You just have to pan the camera to find the guy who's covering the receiver because he's not even on the same screen. He's just broke, busted. It looks like busted coverage, but it's not busted coverage. They just get beaten so bad that they're not even on the same screen anymore.
It was properly bad coverage. Yeah,
It's just
like
heartbreaking because Dak is having like an MVP season over here, and he is like
excellent.
such a calm, collected, nice, chill dude. He'd never say anything bad about the defense or anything, but he's like working his tail off over here. He's got like some of the best stats in the whole damn league as far as quarterbacks go, and yeah, we're just putting up this just shit performance week in, week out on defense, and he's put up almost like 30 or 40 points like almost every game this season, and we just can't cash in, man. We couldn't put 2 wins together to get over 500. We're just a win one, then lose, then win, then lose team for the moment.
Yeah, I mean Dak's definitely a man of character, and probably has always been that way. But you think about someone like him. He's had much more important things in his life than winning or losing a football game, and it's not like he's phoning it in, right? He is trying his absolute damnedest out there. Um, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna let something as small, in the scope of things as their defense giving up a lot of points in a football game ruin his life. Yeah, and as far as their defense, look, you can have good pass rushers, but especially on defense and especially in the passing game, you're only as strong as your weakest link. If you make the quarterback hurry a throw, if a receiver has gotten very free, then it doesn't really matter that they had to hurry the throw, right? That's gonna be a completed pass and maybe a touchdown. Denver is a competent, not great offense, and the fact they were able to put 44 points on your boys, man, you guys suck.
Yeah, we do. It's so heartbreaking because we might have a better offense now than we did
Uh-huh.
those 3-12-5 seasons when we had like a top 10 defense and led the league in turnovers like two consecutive of those 3 years. And it's just so heartbreaking because with the addition of George Pickens and the reemergence of like Ferguson, man, it almost feels like the Cowboys can't even be like stopped on like so many of these drives.
Denver certainly stopped them a bunch of times.
Yeah, but 24 points isn't like nothing. There's so many teams who are like, man, we could put up 24 points a game. Whew.
I get it, but show me an offense that puts up half of what the other team put up, and I don't think you're ever going to be happy with that.
Well, yeah, that's because the defense sucks ass. If we only
Yeah.
lost like 24-26 or something, that would have been like pretty reasonable.
Yeah. But like, when the other team is, scoring in 13 seconds on every drive, you get a lot of opportunities to put up points.
All
All
right.
right. I think that's just barely enough crapping on your crappy Dallas Cowboys. Let's move on.
All right. Next up, we've got the Titans expectingly getting absolutely annihilated. They dropped
Mm-hmm.
to 1-7, and the Colts improved to 7-1. And at least I can say the Cowboys played better than the Titans.
Yeah. Titans don't deserve the time of day. I feel so bad for Tyler Lockett having to live out the rest of his career on the Titans. I feel so bad for him. Um, Indianapolis, best team in the NFL? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm not buying into it.
Daniel Jones 9 yards per attempt through the air. Jonathan Taylor 13 yards per rushing attempt. That offense can't be stopped, dude, or at least not by the Titans. That's for sure.
I think the Cowboys have to play the Colts later in the season, which is going to be amusing.
And I went through last week every game on their schedule. The one time that they didn't put up at least 30 points as an offense was the one game that they lost. Find me another offense that can do that. They're
Yeah, I
seven
mean,
for 8 on 30 plus points. Even Dallas hasn't done that, I don't think.
yeah,
No, they
we got
can't. They
like
can't.
3 games with like 40 points.
Yeah, oh, so does Indianapolis. They are damn good, man. They are damn good. You asked me to pick a Super Bowl champion right now. It's between Indy, Kansas City. No one in the NFC East, that's for sure.
I bet the Colts are
Not
just go
Bills.
like one and done in the playoffs.
It's also very possible, right? A lot of teams that have new success end up
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Yeah,
I'll throw Philly in there. No, Philly's in the NFC East. I'll throw.
I don't
Am I
really
gonna
have a
Chargers in
speculation.
there?
I don't really have a prediction at this point because
Tampa Bay,
every
maybe.
team, even the good ones, have
Yeah.
had some bad games. So I'm
Colts
not.
have not had a bad game yet. They're lost. They scored 20. I think they lost to was it the Bills.
Yeah, but everyone knows they're not for real. So that's why they have like the 10th best odds of like winning like the Super Bowl or something.
I might have to actually go and make a bet because I think that they're for real. I don't think they're actually winning the Super Bowl just because,
The
I
Ravens
think the
have a better chance of like winning the Super Bowl still.
I bet you a pizza on that if you want.
No, they have their Vegas odds of chances to win the Super Bowl are like 5 or 6, and the Colts are like 10 or 12 or something.
You want to bet just Super Bowl or bust? Ravens versus Colts. Neither one wins the Super Bowl. Nothing happens. We can do the pizza.
I don't think either of them are going to make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying one's higher than the
Yeah.
other.
I really believe in Indy. I know you
Uh,
don't, and I get it, and I get that it's like, they haven't had success for a long time, but they haven't had Daniel Jones for a long time, and Taylor, right? Like, has always been a really good running back. He is in an I don't even want to say a renaissance because there was no dark age. He is in a golden age this year. Like he's playing like he's never played before.
I mean, he's doing really well, but like, did people forget about like what Barkley did just last year? He's not on pace. He's not doing as well as Barkley did. Barkley lit it up like
Barkley won them a Super Bowl,
crazy
dude.
fucking week.
Barkley won them a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hear you, but he's not as productive as Barkley was last year. Barkley was absolutely unstoppably crazy. He's had a lot of great games. Don't get me
Taylor's
wrong.
been
Obviously,
close. Yeah, Taylor's been close. Okay.
I'd even argue
really
that his season isn't as impressive as what Derrick Henry did last year. I think there's just been everything has been suppressed about 10 points since last year, so him being at the top still makes him look like he's doing better than what either of them did last season, and I don't agree with that. I think everyone just kind of regressed a little bit, and he's just doing the best. And that's not to take away from how well he's doing. But you look at him, he's only had like 2 games or 3 games over 100 yards. Bro, like Barkley and Henry had like almost every game. I think there's one game Barkley did not have 100 yards in last season.
I get it, but I think you're talking total stats. I'm talking efficiency, which I think is the more important thing here because Indy's defense is fair. Just hear me out. Indy's defense is fairly good. Daniel Jones, they're very comfortable putting the ball in his hands. Taylor only needs to rush the ball 15 times a game instead of 28. And that's a really good thing. So if he puts up 99 yards on 15 rushing attempts, that's still a really good game. And the even better thing about that, making them look more legitimate to me, is that their bell cow isn't exhausted at the end of the season. He's going to be fresh going into Week 18, going into the playoffs.
Well, maybe that's true. But at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if he has less yards per carry than Barkley or Henry did last season.
Saying I bet my life on this team or anything, but like, yeah, I honestly think they're for real, and I think they're going to be, short of like, horrific injuries, really good for years to come. But I think that they're actually probably one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. Not only right now, but for this season. I love their chances.
I definitely put him in the top 5 just because stats don't lie. But a team that's been as bad as they have been for as long, I don't think they're going to be like the Redskins of last year where they just go, they're garbage for like since Robert Griffin III and then go to the NFC Championship. You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, right? Like, they don't have a body of work in the past that we can rely on.
Plus,
and say that.
the sad truth of the matter is there's better teams in the AFC than there are. There's more better teams in the AFC
Look,
than
man,
the NFC.
The damn Bengals went to the Super Bowl 5 years ago.
Well, they were good back then.
Were they?
Joe Burrow was playing the whole year.
They were good that season, but were they good for the seasons before that? They kind of came out of nowhere, if I remember it.
They had Joe Burrow healthy. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, Indy has Daniel Jones healthy. Let's go.
All right, we got our first Sunday night football. Oh, no, wait. This was just Sunday night football.
Yeah, this was Sunday night football.
Old Man Rodgers defeated, I'm sure you were gushing over there, by Jordan Love and the crew. In fact, it was
so good.
This wasn't even a one-sided game. They dominated them in the first half, and then the Steelers their offense couldn't put up hardly any points in the second half, and the Packers just, I guess, made some brilliant second half adjustments and just completely ran away with it. It was like 16-6 or something at the end of the first half, and I was like, man, this Steelers defense suddenly. And then a switch just flipped, and they just had no answers,
What made this sweeter for me was
Rodgers didn't even play bad.
Was the entire second half.
Okay. Aaron didn't even play bad this game. It's just
Aaron Rodgers
just couldn't keep up.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers' entire game plan was to come out and dress like a bumblebee, and it didn't work.
Like, he makes those decisions to wear those gay-ass uniforms, man. Come on.
I mean, he basically tries to run the entire franchise, right?
I gotta be honest. If I was like a well-known skill position player, and they were like, "This is what we're wearing in the next game," I'll be like, "You can find me. I'm not wearing that gay shit." That is like so embarrassingly bad. That's worse than the stupid like striped prison orange uniforms they made Ben Roethlisberger wear like 8 years ago or something. I remember
You
this
know,
one game.
they
They were
almost
like,
made him wear a few different types of striped prison
yeah,
uniforms.
these were like, yeah, they were just black and white or orange, red. They looked like the Bengals, but uglier. And it was like a stripe from like helmet all the way to their socks. This one week they made Big Ben wear that shit. It was so stupidly ugly.
Oh man, just absolutely no respect for the tradition of football. I see.
I never forgot how ugly those were.
Yeah, Jordan Love looked great. Aaron Rodgers looked a little bit lost. Let's be honest. In that second half, it wasn't like this game was entirely on him or anything like that. He looked a little bit lost in where he wanted to throw to. Took some sacks that he didn't need to. Um, took a sack that really should have been either a fumble or an intentional grounding, where he literally just threw the ball into the ground to avoid a sack. And they're like, "Oh, what a smart play! There was a receiver's feet 10 yards, from where the ball landed." So yeah, what a heads up play by Aaron Rodgers there. Uh, and they got to change the rule on intentional grounding. If your body is already going to the ground and you spike the ball into the ground, that's intentional grounding. I'm sorry, even if it's under your own control. Um, I will give him some credit. Post game, he said some real nice things about Love. And also just some smart things about kind of how they run their offense, how Pittsburgh runs its offense, and how they kind of didn't execute those things. He's not a dumbass. I
Wow.
still think his career should be over. He just doesn't have kind of he doesn't quite have the physicality or the mental quickness, right? He has a lot of wisdom, football wise at least, definitely not life wise. Um, but he does have like a great understanding of the game. He just doesn't. His mind isn't quite quick enough, like it is in your 20s and your early 30s, to be able to kind of make the plays and make the reads exactly when you need to. I think he's done after this season, and I think he should be done.
You'd like that. All right, next up, we've got the Chiefs in a full on demolition of the Commanders, not unlike the Steelers game, where it was very close in the first half, and the Commanders' defense was shockingly good in the first half, but those second half adjustments, and that was the end of the game. And then the Chiefs just took over in the second half and never looked back. Not really a lot to say about it. Daniels didn't play this game, but I didn't even thought Mariota was that bad, but obviously he was terrible.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. Yeah, Kansas City offense really coming alive. Like it had for seasons. I mean, they were really just in a slump. Part of last season, early part. And I think they're out of the slump. They're definitely Super Bowl contenders. Washington. Let's talk about Washington for a minute because I think they're a legitimately bad team.
They lost to the
Daniels,
Cowboys.
the whole NFC East is bad except for the mediocre Eagles. Uh, yeah. Um, Jeez. Washington, I think, is legitimately a bad team, and I had so much hope for them coming into this season.
Weren't they supposed to win the division?
Yeah, I had them to win the division. You probably had the Cowboys or something stupid
No,
like
I
that.
had the Eagles because it made
You had the
sense.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably gonna back into the win, but they're not good either. Or at least they're not great. Yeah, Washington. Daniel's not playing that well. I don't think he's bad or anything, but like he's not the savior. That can save a team that's not playing well. McLaurin, not really doing much.
I can't believe I'm
Uh,
saying this, but right now, in terms of like
yeah.
momentum, I actually think the Giants are better than the Redskins are.
Well, definitely not without Scatabo.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
But Dart's been very impressive, I
Yeah,
think.
the fact that they traded away Brian Robinson to the 49ers, and Robinson's a backup now, granted to CMC, who can get injured and who's really important to back up well, but like, man, are they missing him in the run game? Um, just bad management by Washington in that sense, and yeah, just neither the offense or the defense is playing well in most of these games. I hate to say it, but I think the Commanders are going to kind of be the same old like mediocre to bad Washington team that we've known before last year.
Well, I think a lot of players are banged up, not the least of which is Daniels
Every team can say
himself.
that. Yeah,
So,
every team can say that though.
no, I don't think every team is equally banged up.
I mean, look at the Rams for example. They were on bye this week. I haven't gotten the chance to talk about them. Look how bad Sean McVay is as a coach.
I was
No,
just
but
about to say, like,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
we got to
seriously. Like
dissect that.
Stafford gets banged up in every single game he plays in. Puka's gone. Um, yeah. I mean, they're missing several guys. Several guys that are playing are really hurting, and they just keep putting together. Look at the 49ers. I mean, lots of good teams get banged up and continue to play well. Look at Baltimore, who just put together a nice win despite not having Lamar. I, Man, Washington's just a bad team. I'm sorry. I hate saying it too.
I think they're probably like 4 out of 10 right now. I'm not gonna say they're as bad as like the Dolphins or Jets, but
Right?
they're only like
Mhm.
one notch.
I think the Dolphins put together a better game this week than Washington has put together all year.
All right,
All right.
since
Before we move on, let's
oh
check
yeah,
your prop bet.
pretty sure it didn't come true, right? Because didn't I need Tua to get benched?
Yeah, you had Miami, New York Jets, Cleveland, and New Orleans starting quarterbacks all getting replaced during
Didn't
the
I get
game.
2 of those right? I think, or maybe 3.
Something interesting happened. First of all, Spencer Rattler did get replaced.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, you got 1 out of 4. He's the only one who actually got replaced. But as I was checking the stats, what's kind of funny is that Miami and the Jets uh, both had other people listed on the passing stats. The Jets was Brees Hall threw a pass. I
That's
don't think
right.
that counts as Fields getting replaced.
That's true. Yeah.
Uh, Tua got relieved for one play. I think it was probably after I turned off the game because I don't think that I saw Zach Wilson at any point. I don't know whether he just got banged up for a second, but I think he just got relieved in the fourth when there was no need to have him in when they were up by 24 points or whatever it was. So on a technicality, he did get pulled during the game for Zach Wilson, but it was only because he had already led the team to the victory.
What
I'm
about the
giving you 1 out of
Browns?
4.
Browns, they
What?
definitely replace
No, no,
someone
no.
every week.
Yeah, as bad as they were playing, Gabriel was the only guy on the passing sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty far off, but kind of funny that other people appeared on Miami and the Jets as well. All right, let's get to week 9, buddy.
Okay, week 9. First up, oh, it's a juicy one tomorrow,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, tomorrow we've got the Ravens at Miami with Lamar's comeback game. I can't wait to see it. The Ravens defense has been a little bit better. It was almost Cowboys levels of bad for the beginning of the season. And then the Dolphins, fresh off of signs of life.
Hmm.
Yeah, what do you think
I'm gonna
they
let you go first on this one.
uh I'm gonna say just like with Lamar, I think it makes Henry better. I think the defense will be better. Yeah. I'm gonna say it was a fluke that Tua looked confident again. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fluke. And as a homer, like I would take Miami against probably over half the teams in the league that might play them right now.
Half.
Sadly,
Oof.
Baltimore is not one of them, and I'll tell you why. Miami's defense tends to struggle against quarterbacks that can kind of get out of the pocket and improvise. They're really good against pocket passers. Sure, if we play Pittsburgh, we'll kick their ass. But I think that the type of improvisation that Jackson and even Huntley will be able to bring will be enough to score some unexpected touchdowns against the Dolphins. Might be competitive, but I don't think it's going to come down to the end. I think Baltimore's probably got this. I'm going to be screaming for the Dolphins if they can win stuff. So I've got Baltimore.
Was go with your homies, man. They got a
All right.
chance. It's not that lopsided.
All right, now Schizophrenia Ball 9. We have the really bad offense and good defense against the really bad defense and good offense. It's the extremely movable object against the extremely weak force. Who you got?
Are you talking about the Bears and Bengals?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is tough, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Bengals just because Joe Flacco's got so many weapons, and as soon as I heard the news he was going there, I was like, this is going to be such an upgrade for them. They got such great weapons and shit. That guy, the Jake Browning guy or whatever that was playing before, he sucks so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely all in on the. Caleb's just been so bad like the last 4 or 5 games, and even though they went like on a 4 game winning streak, his stats were like abysmal during that time. So even if the Bears offense suddenly gets on track, I just think the Bengals are just too good offensively, even with Joe Flacco. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a Rorschach. I'm seeing the game the other way, where I'm seeing, even though since he's playing at home and I want to give him the edge for that, I'm seeing Chicago is one of the few defenses that might actually be able to pick off Flacco a couple times and give Chicago a short field. Cincinnati's defense is so horrendous that, like, even if it's just Caleb, who's gonna stop him?
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying the Bengals defense is going to play well. I just think they'll score more
Caleb
points.
can throw an off-target pass as long as it's like somewhere within like the realm of the receiver's reach. Since he's not even gonna try to touch the ball, I, with a pit in my stomach, am going to take the Chicago Bears to win a football game in Week 9 of the NFL. I can't believe I'm doing
I
this.
don't even. That's not. I don't even think it's crazy. I think it's probably a toss-up, honestly.
Yeah,
What
it's
you're
one of these
obsessed
teams
with
has
like
to win, right?
sports gambling, so who does
Yeah.
the what are the odds favor in this game?
Oh, I'll look it up as we do the next game, and I'll let you know. Okay.
I manage the Bengals since they're at home, and it's probably a close toss up, and the home team gets like a 3 point edge or whatever it goes. All right, next up we've got the Vikings playing the Lions at home,
Wow.
and JJ McCarthy is supposed to return in this game. Did you get the line on that?
I did. It's a 2.5 to 3 point spread with the Bears as favorites.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah.
And JJ McCarthy will be returning in this game, but yeah, I just don't think it'll matter. And the funny thing is, he's just so unproven. I think he only played like 1 game before he hurt himself, so got to
Oh
go with the
no.
Lions.
Yeah, Detroit coming off of a bye, very fresh. And I think in the last game they did play, their defense looks better than ever, right? So, yeah, I think this is going to be an easy win for Detroit too. Minnesota's just not playing well right now.
All right, next up we got the Panthers playing the Packers at home, and tell me how the Panthers are sneaky good enough to win this one.
They are sneaky good. I think they have a chance, but yeah, not a great one. Like Green Bay is just playing so well. I don't fault Carolina. I don't know how their schedule is this tough, given how horrendous they were last year. But here they are playing against the Green Bay Packers, and I don't see any way that they bring enough firepower, even with Rico Dowdle, to pull this one off. Kind of rooting for the Panthers, but yeah, I've got the Packers. I have to imagine you have them too.
Yeah, I don't even know if Bryce Young's going to play in this game, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised if they could keep it close. Because the Packers' defense has been a bit of a letdown from what was expected. But yeah, obviously I gotta take the Packers. I don't know who the Panthers would have to be playing for me to take them.
The Dolphins.
There you go. You're right. I would take that. Yeah,
Yeah.
if Bryce Young was healthy. Next up, we've got the Broncos playing the Texans at home. We got a tale of two immovable objects here and two
True.
mediocre offenses. Kind of the same teams almost, except one of them just had way better luck apparently. Yeah, this
Yeah.
one's actually kind of hard to call. The Texans' offense has been slightly lively, and their defense hasn't lost a step. But the Broncos' offense or defense hasn't lost a step, and their offense has been doing better, much better, I
Yeah.
guess, lately.
For me, I mean that slightly lively Houston offense. That's 1 week of liveliness in like the last five. Denver just put up 44 points against your boys.
Well,
Um,
is that really fair to include the Cowboy inflation? Every team that plays the Cowboys has the best game of their career, man.
I suppose so, but like,
No, let me get
yeah,
this straight. Caleb Williams, Russell Wilson,
uh,
Bryce Young, all had the best game of their careers this season against the Cowboys defense. I'm probably
I
missing
don't know,
someone.
Bryce did a lot against my team too. Just saying. Daniel Jones definitely had the best game of his career against my team. Maybe we're just cursed, man. Anyway, Denver's offense has looked fine in most of its last 5 games. Houston's has not. I'm going with Denver for that reason. I think that they're going to be able to put up points against Houston's defense. I don't feel the same faith in Houston's offense right now. I'm sure their defense will play well. We'll have like a 16 to 7 or 8 game. And I think it's going to be in Denver's favor.
Yep, I completely agree. For basically
Okay.
the same reasons you said. Next up, we've got the Falcons coming off of their shock loss to the Dolphins, playing the red hot Patriots at home. And I don't know if Penix is going to be back for this game, but even if he is, he's not exactly a force multiplier. So definitely got to go with the Patriots.
Yeah, that AFC East last week was just on fire. All 4 teams won, and all 4 teams put up at least, I think, 32 points. Given that New England is an AFC, if I said NFC, I meant AFC East. Given that New England is an AFC East team, I've got faith in them as well. So we've both got the Patriots.
All right, next up, we've got the Niners playing the Giants at home. And yeah, that Scatterboo injury is definitely going to probably affect the rest of the season pretty bigly. Yeah,
Yeah.
just I don't know if this is Mac Jones' last game or if he played his last game last week, or I don't know when Purdy's coming back, but I don't really think they'll change much when he does come back, to be honest. But
Yeah, we might have a quarterback controversy by the end of this.
I don't think so because they're just paying Purdy too much. I don't think
Two,
they've been noticeably better or worse than each other for it to change, really.
right, and just because you're paying somebody a lot, I mean, yeah, there's the sunk cost fallacy, and that's why really bad teams like the Browns continue to be really bad. We put $280 million into Deshaun. Sure, Flacco was playing 12 times better,
You
but
bring up
we
Deshaun Watson as much
show
as
up
you bring
there.
up like Sean McVay, man.
Deshaun Watson definitely deserves it. Um, I don't think that San Francisco is a bunch of dumbasses, right? If you have 2 equally good players and you're paying one of them a lot less, develop them and trade the other one. I mean, Philly did that a long time ago, and look how far they've come as a result. Carson Wentz, remember when they were overpaying him? Yeah. Um, what can I say, man? Like, this is a tale of 2 banged up teams, one team of which is good enough to play through being banged up, and one team of which is the New York Giants. I've got the 49ers.
Well said. All right, next up we've got the Colts playing the Steelers at home, and
Oh,
boy, this is going to be a rough one for my boy
oh.
Aaron to not
Just
just
rubbing my hands together right now.
not just survive this game, but keep up in this game. If he thought the Packers, offense was good enough, you got to imagine the Colts are probably in a much better position.
Yeah,
And
well, what
that
do you say to
Steelers
Colts?
defense, they say it's the most expensive defense in the league right now, and it has just been absolutely
That's surprising.
wretched. Absolutely wretched so far this season. It's only had like 1 or 2 decent games, no good games really.
Well, you got to
It's
keep playing them. You're paying them a lot of money.
well, of course, it's just you'd expect to see like with the brilliance of Mike Tomlin and how great their organization has been across decades
Yeah.
that there'd be an improvement, by now.
They, yeah, they've always run a good defense with not always a lot of great high paid personnel.
And T.J.
So
Watt, who got signed in the offseason, he's just been underwhelming too. And I'm sure it's not all his fault, but definitely is a factor.
doesn't he have like 11 season-ending injuries every single season?
I sincerely doubt it, since he's like the only player to ever lead the league in sacks more than once.
All right.
He has definitely not been hurt that many times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just impossible to take the Steelers as much as I'd like to. Their defense is just too bad.
was really hoping you would take your boy Aaron.
I took
Yeah,
him
I'm
when I thought
taking.
it was, I thought the Packers would win, but I thought it was like, 45-55. I knew it wasn't, he was an underdog. But this is
I-
just,
I'm. Ta- Mhm.
this is like 80-20 probably.
I'm taking my boy DJ. Give me the
DJ.
Colts to put up. Give me the Colts to put up another 35 point performance and comfortably beat a miserable-looking Aaron Rodgers. Not that he's playing miserably, which he might be, but that he actually his face just looks miserable as he sees the game going downhill.
Honestly, he looks like that when they're like winning too. So
He does.
he's just very
Oh,
tired.
boy.
He's got a very like fatigued face.
He really does. Very
Yeah.
weathered. Yeah.
Like when Tom Brady was 45, he still looked like he was like
He
28.
doesn't show a lot of expression either.
Yeah. I honestly still the Colts defense is nowhere near as hot. I mean, they're probably like a middling defense, honestly. I bet the Steelers could still put up like 20 something
Yeah,
over.
and to piggyback on what you were
So,
saying, like Tom Brady, literally like the Dick Clark of the NFL. Like the boy just does not itch. He just does not itch.
yeah, I just watched him commentate that game Sunday and I was like, "Wow, he could still be 35 and he's actually 47."
Yeah. Man, just what an absolute like winner of the genes lottery.
I know. I think he's like a health nut too, and he just takes really good care of
He
himself.
is. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He is so disciplined with how he eats, and I'm sure he works out a hell of a lot even in his retirement. But like,
He looks like he
yeah,
could
he
still
is.
play.
But man, look, I'm careful with how I eat too, and I definitely don't look like a Tom Brady at the same age he's at.
Well, someone clearly experimented on you when you were a fetus. That's why your genes are so bad.
Okay, I'm just gonna hand the tinfoil hat to you while I get some health tips from Tom Brady. Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got the Chargers playing against the Tennessee Titans, and just like the Las Vegas Raiders are the Raiders, the Titans are the Titans, man.
Might actually be worse than the Raiders, even though it's more fun to pick on the Raiders, quite honestly. Yeah, one of these teams is not the Titans. I've got the Chargers.
Yeah. All right. Next, we've got the Saints playing against the Rams, and this will be the first start for their second or third backup, Tyler Shock or whatever the hell his name is. And he wasn't very good in relief of Spencer Rattler, but funny thing is,
Who's
Rattler
going
has been a backup for so long. They started him like 7 games now. He was actually just starting to like get some confidence under his wings, and now they benched his ass. And this guy, I mean, the Rams defense, I think they're one of the only teams that has like a top 5 offense and defense simultaneously. And yeah, they're just going to completely annihilate him. That verse is
Yeah,
just going to break him.
if you told me the Saints were playing, Papadopoulos as their quarterback next game, I would probably believe you. The Rams, easily one of the NFC's best teams. Possibly even their strongest Super Bowl contender. Jared Furr is such a freaking powerhouse. The rest of their pass rush, very good. This is going to be a bad, bad time for whoever plays at any point on the Saints. This is going to be a blowout. Sean McVay is going to be dumb enough to keep playing his players when they're 4 touchdowns ahead and get someone injured. The Rams will win the game.
Yeah. Next up, as I look at this, we got the Jaguars playing the Raiders, but somehow the Jags still have a winning record. So we're gonna have to scroll up and title the Ravens Dolphins game as Shitbowl 9, since both of them only have 2 wins.
I
Crazy.
think let's live in reality. This is the toilet bowl of the week.
I don't know. They got 4 wins. These people got 6 wins. One of them's over
I don't care
500.
about the number of
One of
wins.
them's
This
over
is the toilet.
500.
Well, they're going to continue being over 500 this game because the Raiders are not going to win this game. I'm giving it to the Jags.
You don't even think it could be close?
No,
You just think the Raiders are that bad?
that's my
Okay.
analysis. No, it's not going to be close.
All right, I hear you. Yeah, I think there's every reason to believe it could be close. Trevor Lawrence is not having a great season. Geno Smith is having an absolutely miserable season.
Hmm.
That's true. And both the Jaguars have a decent defense and the Raiders have no defense, but I don't think it's as one sided as you think it is, but I do think the Jags will probably win. It's hard to pick the Raiders against anyone.
You know who's also not having a good season? Fred Shanahan, or whatever name you came up with last week.
And didn't I say it was Pete Shanahan when it was Mike
Pete
and Kyle?
Shanahan was the name you came up with.
I
Yeah.
swear there was. I swear his name was Pete instead of Mike, but whatever.
No.
I knew Kyle was the younger one, but I knew.
Kyle's son, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was too funny. And Mike Shanahan, the very, very successful and famous father. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got the annual Chief Bills Bowl. They play each other every year, like the last 4 or 5 years somehow
Yeah,
in
this
the
is the
regular
game of the week.
season. And I'm going over my dad's to watch this game Sunday afternoon. The Chiefs at Buffalo, 5-3, 5-2. They both coming off a steaming hot win. Chiefs have looked more dominant as of late, while the Bills have looked a bit stinky in 2 of their last 3 games. But they got a get right game, and they're fresh off the bye. And James Cook just had a monstrous game last week, 200 something yards. Pretty crazy. But that Chiefs defense is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams were monsters last week. Both these teams are obviously, I don't want to say perennial Super Bowl contenders because Buffalo always loses in the championship game, but perennial contenders. We'll say that. Yeah, two really good teams. It is still the middle of the regular season. We're playing in Buffalo. Normally, I would want to give the edge to the Kansas City Chiefs in this matchup, and with how they've been playing recently, I will not be making an exception. I've got the Chiefs. What do you think, buddy?
I'm going with the Bills because
All right.
I hate the
All
Chiefs, and they're playing someone
right.
of in the same universe of skill, so I'm going with the Bills.
Without a doubt, the Bills are a very good team. Again, AFC East team, right? I probably should be picking them,
I'm just
but
ashamed I didn't have the balls to pick the Chargers and the Jags when they beat the Chiefs.
I'm so glad that the Jets are on bye this week, and I don't have to pick them as an AFC East team. Yeah, I've got the Chiefs just because they've been playing their vintage Super Bowl ball for the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah,
I see no.
I'm picking the Bills, but I honestly think it's probably like 60-40 Chiefs.
Yeah, I'd probably give it about a 60-40 as well. I think that's a good call.
All right, next up on Sunday night, we got the Seahawks playing the Redskins. And like you said when we did the recap, the Redskins are just bad.
Yeah, yeah, and the Seahawks are not an incredibly good team, but they're very competent. They're competing hard. I think their defense is playing well. Their offense is doing enough. Sometimes they look honestly scintillating. Sometimes they don't. Yeah, but they're definitely not bad. And Washington is, despite being on the road, going across the entire country. I have got the Seahawks to win this one.
Yeah, even if Jaden Daniels plays in this game, I still got the Seahawks too. And I don't know if he's going
Yeah.
to miss a second game or not. So. All right, true game of the week. Monday Night Football. Cardinals versus the Cowboys at home.
Be a fun one.
They actually are undefeated at home this season, and they have not lost consecutive games. And the Cardinals are as mediocre as it gets. If the Cowboys lose this game, season's over. There are two between the Niners division and the Lions division. It's going to be absolute murder for other teams to get that 7th seed, man. It's going to be real tough at the end of the season. And if Cowboys lose this, season's done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd say the season's probably, well, I guess it's not done already because you're in the NFC East, but it's not looking great. When you say that they're undefeated, did that include that weird tie? Was that at home?
That's right. We have not
All
lost.
right. So only technically undefeated at home. As bad as Dallas D's look, I don't think that Arizona's going to be able to take as much advantage of it. I do have the Cowboys.
That's what I thought against the Bears and
Taking
the
a win.
Panthers, but boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, I know. Scored a nice point off you that way. Uh, You gonna make the mistake a third time and pick your boys? You are right.
No, my boys do not lose consecutive games, man. I'm going with the Cowboys at home, man. They're so much better at home.
Yeah. I just think that Arizona's offense is way too inconsistent to take advantage of how bad Dallas's D is. Dallas is going to score some points either way. I do think it could be a close game, but I definitely favor the Cowboys in this one.
Dropping at least 30 on these cards. The House of Cards. Is that what you call them?
The House of well, I mean, to be the House of Cards, you need to build up something good before it collapses.
Yeah, they're not going to get anywhere with that Dolphins level of wins that they have. All right. That does it for week 9 of our NFL picks. You got any?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
from
right.
my prop bet, I have got Jackson Smith Jigba. Hard to say, but absolutely, killer player in the stats and honestly on the field. I've got him with 15 receptions on 20 targets, for at least 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hmm. I'm going to say that even though I think the Cowboys will win, they're going to make it
Mhm.
so hard on themselves that three
Uh-huh.
different Cardinals receivers will all have 100 receiving yards.
Oh, offhand, do you have any idea if that has ever happened in the NFL?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure there were Peyton.
Receivers
I'm sure there were seasons
have
with like Peyton Manning's Broncos where he did that.
100 plus receiving yards. I can't imagine that though. Like,
Come on, there's
wow.
games where quarterbacks get like 500 or 600 yards sometimes. Get like 300 between three guys, sure, why not?
Yeah, but often they're like throwing to running backs for 50, 60 yards. One guy has like 190.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe one guy has 150, but wow, three different receivers with 100 receiving yards. That I really like that prop bet. It's one of my favorites of the season.
Now this can be
It's
two
not going to happen, but
receivers.
it's one of my favorites of the season.
This can be two receivers and a tight end, or a tight end, a running back, and a receiver, or somehow three receivers. But it's gonna happen.
Oh, okay, yeah, three Cardinals players. That's fair. That's perfect. Um, yeah, I think it's more likely that Kyler Murray will have 100 rushing yards than even two receivers getting 100. But
Yeah, I
yeah, that's
know.
a really fun prop bet.
You
Props for
just
your prop.
you just don't understand how bad this Cowboys secondary is. These guys are so checked out, so slow, so like uninspired. They're the worst part. Like the pass rush, we get some pressure sometimes, and the linebackers, they're bad, but they're not otherworldly bad. That secondary though is the stuff of nightmares. We got the most. We got just a bunch of boneheads back there. So bad. Anyway,
It,
enough ragging on them.
I mean, yeah, I've definitely seen some bad play from the Cowboys. There was nothing like what I saw from the fourth quarter in the Bengals last week, though.
Whatever you
All
saw, I
right.
guarantee there's been 5 of those this season for the Cowboys.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
All right,
So it looks like
somehow.
our only two contested picks this week are Cincinnati versus Chi-Town and Buffalo KC, right?
Say that again?
I think our two contested picks this week are Bears Bengals and Bills Chiefs. And if you win them both, you will take the lead back from me.
Really? Only
Not
two?
that that's
Didn't
gonna
you?
happen.
Are you sure you didn't pick the Dolphins against the Ravens?
No, I had the Ravens. Remember I said that
I'm just
remember I said
kidding.
that scramblers do well?
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
All right.
All right.
So,
Well, that does it for week 9. And I already forgot your prop bet, but I'm sure you'll tell me next week.
have a good week and we will see you next time.